Hi there, Cosmic Family. My name is Leal in this incarnation. So today I'm going to talk about the moon function in the natal chart. Yesterday I told you about the position of the sun, which is what mostly we call our sign. But I told you that we are the whole natal chart, and the ascendant is this energy, is this constellation that is rising on the horizon when we at the time and moment we are coming to this world, when we were born. And this energy is something that surrounds us from the beginning, but we experiment that as since in the outside, in the exterior, until we got that there is a pattern outside, and that energy is was always ours. So it's important to take accountability about the ascendant, because when we can integrate that energy and we choose to express it, because it is always an energy that comes from us, and we choose to express it, we stop living scenes in the exterior that comes from destiny, just to nivellate the energy we are rejecting from ourselves. So this is what we call the shadow projection. But in astrology, we can see that this shadow has a pattern, and it has to do with our ascendant too. It's an energy that we can express when we are gaining more consciousness. This energy starts to elevate too, but actually all the natal chart starts to elevate when we take consciousness, when we are expanding our vessel and we are gaining more light. All the natal chart, it's elevating. We can elevate one part of the natal chart, and the other, it's more low on consciousness. That's not possible. So it's important to say that the function of the moon, it is linked with the bond with our mother. And when I am saying mother, I'm not saying the person. I'm talking about the archetype and the environment, which includes the father too, or other people that were in our childhood, or the things we experimented when we were children. And this moon function, it's something that when we are growing and when we become adults, I'm going to say a phrase that an Argentinian astrologer used. His name is Eugenio Caruti, but I don't think he had English books. But he made a whole book about the moon, because it's a very, very important part of the chart, really. And he said it's like if the fairies would give a gift to us, but that gift only appears when we take accountability of the pattern of inertia that we use to connect with our mother. It's an unconscious pattern. I'm going to explain this more clearly when I talk about the moons itself. But this pattern repeats in a way that unconsciously, until we are aware of that, and that prevents us from integrating other parts of our natal chart, and prevents us from evolution, actually, because when we are activating that pattern, we are actually wanting to not growing. We are wanting to keep us as childs. We are behaving in an immature way. And I think I told you before in other videos, but immaturity, it's selfishness, it's the same. So this pattern, it could take a whole life to refine it totally, because there's the learning in this world, it's an spiral. So we are always refining in more subtle ways the same pattern. That's why I think astrology and our natal chart, it's a very useful tool, because we are always working on the same things in this incarnation, because we came here to experiment these kind of things. So it's like a map. That's how I call it. And so the moon, when we are activating this pattern unconsciously, and it's not the same for everyone, we want to contact with our mother, with the uterus in a symbolically way, and we want to be in a refuge. It's like I want to protect me, but in an immature way. So other thing that I didn't said before is that the moon, it's our emotional language. So it's the way we're going to express the emotions, and could be the way that we feel that others express their emotions with us too. And it's important this to understand it, because if we have a partner that has a different moon, for example, a moon that is not very linked with our moon, we have to comprehend that he or she expresses that way because it's the way she or he knew in their childhood. And other thing that it's important is that when we start to be aware of the pattern and we want to change it, this is a very, very uncomfortable thing, very uncomfortable. Of course, how I said before, this is a spiral, so it has a lot of levels of refinement. And I'm saying this because I saw a lot of people like only vibrating in his moon and not expressing their sun sign, for example, or their ascendant or other parts of their chart, of their natal chart, because the moon were preventing them to express those energies because they were so frightened and they were trying to protect themselves. Of course, this is the ego, and this is the part of ourselves that doesn't want to grow. And it's important to say that, and you will see this with other explanation that I will give, that there's some moons that actually seems to be like they are acting like adults, but actually they are not. And when they are acting that way, they are coming back to the child. But their programming were about being adults, being adults, sorry, as they were a child. So what is important is that the gift, and this is a natural born gift that the fairies gave us, it only appears when we are stopping to express this energy in an immature way. Before that, we are not able to express the gift, So this is very important, because I really saw people that wasn't expressing their sun sign or their ascendant or other parts of the natal chart, and they were vibrating only in the moon. And this means that those people are very frightened and they have a lot of sadness, and they are preventing themselves to keep evolving. They are stuck, actually. So as we all know, we are in this planetary process, so we are not allowed right now to be stuck. We have to flow with evolution. We are always pushed to evolve, but this time it's an accelerated process. We're going to feel it very intense. So it's important to say too that the moon activates actually when we are experimenting a situation that we are feeling. It could be about a change. It could be about a quantic jump. it's a situation that causes us sadness or fear. So the moon activates again just to protect us, but we have to leave the old programmation in order to express this energy in a more elevated way. So I'm going to start with the moon in Aries, or it could be the moon in the first house. So this moon, it is about, it has a really energetic charge. The mother here, or the archetype, again, when I am talking about the mother, it's not the person, the mother could be her, but I'm talking about the whole environment, and it could be other people too. So in this case, the mother is very determined. It's very like impulse the kid to do things very quickly, and the affectivity here is associated with reaction. It's a very masculine energy, actually, and there is a rejection of the feminine, and in both cases, if we are talking about a woman or a man, it's the same way. So invasion in aggressiveness could be things that that the kid feels that the mother express. There is this programming of dependence of independence that the kid actively integrate, and they could turn people that are actually aggressive or invasive or intrusive when they are feeling with fear in a situation that make them very uncomfortable, so it's important to know that these people actually they have to learn to relax and to be receptive, but people with moon in Aries are very afraid about the imposition of others, so they are feeling that they have to be active before, in order nobody impose them the desire, because that's how the mother acted with them. So it could happen that that there's some people that doesn't feel like this. You describe the moon to them. They have moon in Aries, and you describe the moon to them, and they said, no, I'm a very calm person, I actually not like this, but they have a partner that they are very aggressive, or they have, or maybe they are verbally violent, or even violent. So when they are not expressing this kind of moon, it's because they are projecting this moon in someone else. So the integration here, it's about relaxing and be receptive, and not always reacting. And of course, this is very hard for these people. But if we have a friend, for example, that reacts this way, it's because we can understand that they are feeling insecure, and they are feeling fear. So when they actually could start to express this energy in a mature way, there are people that have a lot of self-determination, action, leadership, and in a sustained way, because it's very important to say that this moon is like the very first spark. They start things, but then they lose it all. when they are expressing it in an immature way. So when they actually start to integrate this energy, they can sustain things in time with a lot of self-determination. Actually, they are natural born leaders. Then we have the Taurus moon, or moon in second house. So this moon has an activity more sensual, corporal. It is linked with orality or contact with food, with relaxation, with pleasure, objects, money, because the mother express this affectivity with her child, or again other people in their childhood, expressing these things with a lot of sensual touch. With sensual, I'm talking about the senses. So materia and money are parts of this too. So the programmation here to this kid, and this could sound like a very beautiful moon, if we are thinking about it, the contact with the food, the pleasure, kisses, hugs, a very a mother that expressed a lot of corporal contact, but the programmation here is that this kid starts to associate affectivity with all of these things, and they associate this pattern with immutability. There's it starts a pattern of inertia, and it's very hard for people with this moon to change. Actually, they don't want to change. The ego never wants to change, but with this moon, the programming has to do with that they experiment, that could be they could have experiences in life that pushes them to move, but they don't do it until the crisis come. So they have to get out of their their parents' house, because they kicked out, for example, kick them out from their house, because this person that doesn't work. It's always like watching series and Netflix and eating. This could be a pattern of the Taurus moon, actually, when they feel with sadness or they feel fear. They could really be in their beds eating and doing nothing. Of course, this is the first expression of the in the spiral. I'm talking in an extreme way, and I'm talking about all the moons in an extreme way, just to get to know the pattern. But of course, there's always things in the middle until we can express the gift. And it's important to say that all the moons materialized scenes in the destiny, just to break the cycle of the moons. So it's important to say that they could develop this attachment to things more than other moons, to money, or to that good things that prevent them from evolution. For example, a person that have a partner, and that partnership it's already dead, but they keep that relationship because maybe his or her partner gives them money, and they keep them because this thing about comfort in other giving me the money, for example. So they usually stay in the same place. They prevent change until something comes from the outside and push them to do a move. But when we are talking about the expression of high consciousness, when they are able to express the gift, there are people very arty, they are very in touch with manual arts, and they really understand the process that takes to give shape. Again, I said it yesterday about the energy of Taurus, but they are constructors, and they really understand the process of give shape in this material plane, in time and in space. So they become really persons that can that are able to create a lot of material abundance, and to construct solid things in this plane. So now I'm talking about the moon in Gemini, or third house, and here the mother will reward with her affection or the environment the intellectual capacity of the kid, the word, the intellect, and the mother could reward the capacity of doing many things, many tasks, to develop them. And these people could be born in houses or in places where there were a lot of books or a lot of intellectual people. So they are in constant contact with this thing about the intellect, and to rationalizing their emotions. And this could be something that is difficult for them, because emotions are something that we feel. So the moon, it's our emotional language. So these people have this tendency to want to understand their emotions instead of feeling them. And when they are acting from this mechanism of protection, when they are trying to going back to their refuge, they start many things, many tasks. And I saw people that have, for example, 3 jobs and were in different parts of the city, and there was really difficult to sustain them. Or they have many partners, for example, and they like one thing about this partner and one thing about this partner, so they were trying to make one person from 4, and that is a kind of fragmentation, actually. So they do this until they are very stressed and they can't give no more, So the life universe is going to present them scenes of destiny that are linked with things that they cannot explain with words, in order to get them to break this cycle. It could feel very uncomfortable for them to go through for something that have no explanation with the words. So when they can actually integrate and start to be aware of this pattern, the natural born gift they have, they are really good communicators. Of course, they are people with a capacity of transmission that is brilliant, and they have this brilliant association of ideas naturally, and they could be really good teachers. For example, people that are in touch with kids or teaching kids could be something that they could enjoy a lot of. But again, this appears when they can break the cycle of the mechanism. So I'm going to talk about the last moon of today, because I have 3 YouTube channels. I'm so sorry, but I'll keep going talking about the rest of the energies tomorrow. And probably I will record 3 videos. I will do 3 parts. So this Cancer moon or moon in the 4th house is in its own house. the moon is the regent of Cancer. So these people that were born with this moon are people that when they were kids, they received this protection, this warmth, this close bond with their mother, and the mother was there and guessing always the needs of the kid. She knew what the kid needed, and they have this big inner world, and belonging, the family, the tradition are things very important in the programmation of this moon. And this could feel like a very beautiful moon, of course. But what happens is that when these people are growing and they become adults, it's that the world, they're gonna realize that the world actually will not act like their mother, and many times, and they could activate. They are very susceptible persons, people. They are very vulnerable, and they have a lot of like I said, a big inner world. So they try to protect this kind of intimacy, because in a very subtle, unconscious way, they're feeling that the only intimacy here is with their mother. That their own world has space for them and their mother. This is in an unconscious way, of course, but they could retire like the hermit crab, in when they are expressing this as a mechanism. They could retire themselves in a hermit mode, and to reclude in their inner world, in fantasizing about the things that could happen outside. So when they are experimenting fear or sadness, they could come back to the house, come back to their mother, or see, I don't know, old films, old photos, coming back to the past, actually. And they could keep themselves stuck in there. And many times this thing about the family and the unity could be something that prevents them from evolving. For example, there's I am with a partner, and this relationship has nothing more to give me, but I had a really good relationship with his family. So it's difficult for me to leave him, not because of him, but because of their family. This happens a lot with the people with moon in Cancer, that the unity or the bonds they have, like that felt familiar to them, prevents them from change. So the very refuge of them, it's fantasy too. Again, they could be in their houses, just remembering all good times. So when they can free themselves from the mechanism, when they start to doing other things to cut this pattern, they are people that are very supportive with others. They can be very in touch with the needs of others. They are good with kids, and with groups, because they are good to make people feel like they are in home, so they are very supportive, and they have this natural talent. So okay, people, I'm ending the video here, and tomorrow I will continue with this moon function. Thank you, everyone. Goodbye. Ciao.